Hey, my name is Shadowsense and you're watching First Bite. We're trying to convince them to turn me into a vampire. And as you can see, well, it's not going bad. I know they have them and I want to know it all. If I'm potentially going to be a vampire by the end of the night, I should be well informed about what my new body will be capable of. Oh yeah, powers. We're asking about powers. I want to know about all the cool vampire shit you can do.
Interesting priorities. Though it's a fair question.
I suppose the ability to see the threads of truth you mortals can't.
The added benefit of near-miraculous strength has its perks, but being a walking polygraph makes living in the shadows of humanity that much more entertaining.
It's hard to choose. Oh, he's talking. Okay. Didn't realize he was talking. Sorry, Ilias. He runs his hand through his hair like a male model in a perfume ad as he contemplates his response.
I'm basically good at everything. But if I've got to pick just one, sharpened senses. I can hear a mouse's heartbeat at the other end of the house. I could smell you before you even set foot in here.
Interesting.
Well, being young and beautiful forever certainly has its perks, but if I simply had to choose one thing, I'd say that I quite enjoy thralling people.
Please thrall me.
Oh, there's something inherently satisfying about bending people's will before ripping their throat out. You know, there's an art to it.
Well, those are all mildly terrifying. That all sounds incredibly cool and fun. The three of them look very pleased with themselves. It's getting late, or early, and I feel the anxiety pangs in my chest as they all stare at me with thinly veiled impatience. Or judgment? I can't quite tell. My quick-firing brain is telling me that they're talking about me telepathically, or something. The silence is deadly. I've pleaded my case for long enough, and I can't really stand to wait around anymore. It's time. So, did I pass the test? Laurel taps her long fingernails against their chin in contemplation. I have one last question for you, Matt.
Call me curious, but if you had to choose one of us to be your sire, who would you pick?
Y'all already knew.
Clearly, there's only one correct choice.
Yes. Yes, no pressure. This has to be a trap. There's no way this isn't. If I choose one, will the others pounce on me? If I don't choose, will I die regardless? Even if it is a scheme to get their fangs in my throat, I have no choice but to answer. Excuse me. I'm drinking some nice glass bottle Coca-Cola, and carbonated drinks make me the burpee. Y'all knew from the beginning, right? Y'all knew from the beginning. It's gonna be Valeria. I don't even need to hesitate, it's Valeria. Beautiful, hot-headed Valeria. Valeria, there's nothing I want more than for you to be my sire. Valeria cocks a perfect eyebrow and offers me a devilish, if not a little self-satisfied smirk.
Well, is that your final answer?
Yes, I'm positive.
Your taste is impeccable, you know.
I know. Can't help it. I feel my cheeks heating and I avert my gaze from her prying eyes. So...
Have some patience, kitten. This is an important decision.
Okay, yes ma'am, jeez. However, I am satisfied with your choice. For now.
You've made it past step 1. Congratulations.
You almost sound impressed.
Oh.
No. This was the easy part. What comes next might not be such a walk in the park.
But you're past the point of no return. Are you truly ready?
Just gonna save. I am. Valeria reaches out with her hand. Good. Now come. I already have. As I press my palm against hers, I do my best to contain my excitement about being chosen. I can't help but to think what the hell is going to happen next. Part 3, Valeria, Ultra Violence. Okay. Ooh. Got some titties on the wall? Hell yeah. She leads me into her room with our fingers entwined, laced together like lovers. There's handcuffs on the bed. I like where this is going. It's strangely intimate, maybe too intimate for almost strangers, but I remembered that it's not like this evening could possibly get any weirder. I will hold hands with the crazy hot vampire and I will not overthink it. It's easy to forget how cold her skin is when her eyes are trained upon me in the way they are right now. Like if I make even one wrong move, she'll snap me in two. That thought alone is enough to thaw the chill. Snapping can be sexy. Sometimes. Yeah, you like that? You like it when I do the snappies?
Well, here you have it, where the magic happens.
Yeah? I laugh sharp and quick and she frowns, her brow quirked. Now quickly realize that maybe that wasn't a Crips reference and she's just saying that sincerely. Shame. She strikes me as the type to enjoy mocking celebrities for their bad taste in furnishings. Dude, every time I see like, when I see people on YouTube reviewing like YouTuber house tours, the houses are always so fucking bad. You know, money can buy things, but not taste, or something like that. Maybe if she decides not to rip my throat out, I can enlighten her about the joys of reality television. She releases me and I take in my surroundings, observing the little personal touches strewn about the room, hoping I can gather some insight into the kind of vampire that she is. Is that a copy of Dracula? Ask about the handcuffs, ask about Nasty Dennis. I see his little picture over there. You know what? I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna ask about Dracula first. Seem a little sophisticated before I get into the kinky shit. Is that a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula on your nightstand? It is, yes. Some wonderful little story. Did you know that I'm in it? What? She preens, staring down at her blunt nails. I think she's trying her hardest to look indifferent, but her smug face is giving her away horribly.
Yes. Brammy Bear was such a wonderful house guest. Very polite.
Brammy Bear? Yeah, Brammy Bear? Stayed with Dracula. At his castle? To write Dracula?
Darling, did you really think that human just plucked all of that out of thin air? Don't be silly now.
Does that mean Frankenstein's monster is real? The Wolfman? Van Helsing?
Ugh.
Valeria makes a noise of pure disgust when I mention Mr. Helsing.
We don't say his name in this household.
Noted. She takes an angry little step toward and prods her pointer finger into my shoulder.
Frankie was a terrible conversationalist.
Frankie.
And the Wolfman was a shitty movie.
Yeah. Out of those originals, Wolfman's not that good. Sorry to say.
Also, you're really asking me about those morons when I'm standing right here. I've literally had Dracula inside me.
Hot. Apologize and change the subject. My self-preservation senses start tingling quite aggressively. Clearly, this is not a subject I should be pushing if I want that sweet, sweet immortality. I'm sorry, you're right, he sucks. Who has the audacity to make a living out of killing vampires? Valeria seems to relax a little, the look on her face now one of indignance rather than pure unfettered murder rage.
Right. I mean, we are clearly superior.
I nod enthusiastically and pray I've placated her. It's about the handcuffs. Before I can think to control where my gaze lands, I'm immediately drawn to a shiny gold object upon her bedside table. Handcuffs. Fancy ones. Those are nice. Valeria follows my line of sight and grins. You like those?
If you're a good little kitten, maybe I'll let you play with them. Would you like that?
Fuck yes. I'm not interested in sex. Oh, don't lie. I once again cannot control the expression that crosses my face. If I could put a name to it, I would say unadulterated horniness. Oh, fuck yes, I would. Valeria bites her bottom lip, her head tilted slightly. Hot. An eager little beaver. I can work with that. Yeah? Alright, well, gotta ask about Nasty Dennis first. I spot a copy of the delightful portrait of the terrifying, elusive Nasty Dennis sitting pride of place on her dresser. You must really love Dennis.
That's Nasty Dennis to you, human. Show some respect.
Okay.
And love is such a strong word. He's A bastard and a devil, and he has ruined so many of my beautiful clothes that I've lost count.
Dude, yesterday Andy ripped one of my favorite shirts because he got scared of a blow dryer being turned on in the other room. Here's a picture of the hole. Not a big one, but like, damn. Cats can really be bastards. Oh, I love them though. They got tiny little paws. But he's my bastard. Exactly! I'd love to meet him one day. She narrows her eyes at me like she's trying to decide if I'm worthy.
You do not meet Nasty Dennis. Nasty Dennis meets you.
Got it. Wow, that's super ominous. With a sigh, she comes closer, grabbing my hand again. Come on now. Don't be shy. Take a seat and make yourself comfortable. Valeria smiles and guides me over to the plush bed, our joined hands held high between us, as if she's about to spin me into a pirouette. With very little effort, she shoves at my shoulder and I land upon the mattress with a quiet oof. She leans in close and breathes me in, her fingertips bunching in the front of my shirt. Her breath is cool when her lips graze the shell of my ear, her voice low and teasing.
Your heart is so very loud, like wings beating against a cage. Are you scared, little bird?
This voice actress is really good. Not of you. Should I be? I'm terrified. Seems like a safe situation that I need. Let's try I'm terrified first. My breath shakes on the exhale, my throat tight as I curl my fingers in the soft, silky bedspread beneath me. I need to focus, but all I can see, smell, and feel is her. Terrified. Valeria draws back just enough that she can look me dead in the eyes, her nose brushing against mine. If I wasn't blinded by fear and thirst, I'd say she looks even a little turned on. I'm going to make an executive decision not to be smug about it.
Good.
Good answer. I swallow, staring up at her and feeling like honesty is quite clearly the best policy with this one. Luckily, I'm good at that. When I need to be. Do whatever you want with me. I want to be like you. Seems like another save situation. You can do whatever you want with me. I've already surrendered. Valeria pauses and almost looks disappointed. Ah, shit.
Oh.
Surrendered? How dull. She pulls away slightly, looking a bit disappointed and putting some room between us, but not enough that my rabbit quick heart chills the fuck out. Note to self, refrain from using language that could be construed as desperate to avoid metaphorical vampire boner kill shots.
Is there truly no fire left in you? Don't you want to go out with a bang?
Can't help smiling, and she almost smiles back. Almost. So you want me to struggle? To beg you? Either would be nice. Both, maybe.
But I'm not, Ilias. I have no need for theatrics. I already have you in my clutches.
That's true. She grabs my chin, tipping my head so she can get a better look at my throat. Or so I assume, if the way her red eyes flash when her gaze momentarily falls to my exposed jugular is any indicator.
The question is, do I want to let you stick around, or am I just going to drain you dry and be done with you? So, tell me, why are you worthy of me bestowing such a precious gift upon you?
Another save. Valeria pulls back until she's far away enough for me to get a proper look at her. All of her. Let my eyes roam her form, from her shiny raven hair to the way that dress clings to every dangerous inch of her body. I feel my cheeks heating, and I idly wonder if spontaneous human combustion really is just a myth.
Ugh.
Valeria tuts loudly and flicks me on the forehead before she grabs my chin, yanking my head up so I have no choice but to make eye contact. My face is up here, pervert. Her words are sharp, but she's smirking and looking entirely too pleased with herself. She clearly enjoys being admired. That I can work with. Can't help it. You're beautiful.
I'm aware. Now cut the shit and tell me why I shouldn't drain you dry and bury you underneath the hydrangeas.
What is that? I'll be loyal to you. I never wanted anything more. I'm gonna go ahead and overwrite that one. Boom. Because why not? Let's try loyalty? Maybe? Or, let's try this one. Because I've never wanted anything more than I want this. Valeria's brows pinch together and she grips my chin a little harder, tipping my head this way and that. Desperation isn't attractive. I manage to squeeze my words out despite the way her fingertips grip me and I dig into my cheeks. It's not desperation. Desperation. She crinkles her nose.
Well, it smells like it. Stinks of it, actually.
Ah, shit. I chose the wrong one. Hey, I don't smell. Valeria smiles, my whole body shivers. She releases me slowly, my cheeks aching from where she held me so tightly, and she steps away from the bed to lean against her dresser. I sit up quickly, gathering what's left of my wits, and at least try to be cool. This new distance between us tells me she's giving me a chance, maybe an interview of sorts? An interview with a vampire? Fucking great at interviews. So, after your little interrogation of us out there, you might want to learn more about me. She stares at her nails, trying to seem uninterested, something I'm coming to learn she's actually pretty shit at. It's weirdly endearing. You can ask me whatever you like, I suppose. If Valeria likes to talk, I can go for hours. Tell me about how you met Laurel and Ilias? You seem like an interesting group. She scoffs.
Oh, you mean horribly mismatched and frankly fucking bizarre. I agree, but it works.
She takes a deep breath and gets that look again, the one that she had in the lounge when she launched into one of her stories. I never did get to hear her finish about this, finish her Saint Tropez tale.
For Illy, I was living in London in 1901, just minding my own business. You know, being only mildly nefarious, but keeping a low profile.
I nod when she looks to me like she's trying to check that I'm following. As you do.
I would feed just enough to keep myself sated. I didn't want to overindulge in a city I didn't know. Our kind rule Romania. But London is different. More controlled.
The British are like that. She crinkles her nose in disgust briefly before waving it off. I pointedly ignore her very obvious, very British accent.
I was still mourning the loss of my life and my station back home. But I made sure that I took enough money from my husband to keep me comfortable for decades. I wasn't about to give up the luxuries I'd become so accustomed to. Then I heard about the murders that had started to plague the city. They were horribly messy, throats ripped out, limbs and organs missing. Certainly not the work of a pathetic human.
Are you telling me Jack the Ripper was a vampire?
I was enamored immediately upon viewing one of the crime scenes. I knew it wasn't purposeful, that whoever had done it was simply a feral fucking animal, but to me, it was art. The pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood didn't have shit on him.
I don't know what that means. She smiles, unabashedly fond in the same way someone might be if they were talking about their significant other buying them a diamond ring.
Only a specific kind of monster can make such a beautiful mess.
I shift uncomfortably, and Valeria notices. She narrows her eyes at me, then smirks. Terrifying, if not mildly alluring. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Oh, I found him eventually. He made it easy for me, of course. He was a disaster waiting to happen. The kind of gorgeous idiot that would get our kind called from the city by the hunters if he carried on. When I laid eyes upon him, I knew I had to have him. The moment he curled his fingers around my throat, I think I fell in love.
She sighs dreamily, once again looking besotted. Like she's recounting a fairy tale rather than whatever the hell kind of horror story this is.
I told him I would help him, and teach him how to live like a vampire is expected to. I didn't think he'd be interested, but it didn't take long to convince him.
How exactly did you convince him? Her tongue flicks out to wet her plump bottom lip. It's easy to notice how dark her eyes get, even with the distance between us.
I showed him what he could have, if he listened to me like a good boy.
I stare at her blankly and she huffs, flicking me on the forehead. Ow. I fucked his brains out, silly goose. Ah, of course! I feel my cheeks heating. Figures he'd be easily subdued with that.
He is a man who enjoys the simple pleasures in life. Fucking, fighting, feeding. It's what I like about him the most. That and his huge...
An involuntary squeak leaves my mouth. Valeria looks at me like she's contemplating foregoing story time to skip straight to murder time.
I was going to say big personality. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I simply do not believe you. She purses her lips, clearly trying to stifle a smile. And Laurel? When did they come into the picture? Wait, were you insinuating that Ilias was Jack the Ripper? Huh. Interesting. If that's even true. I'm just theory crafting. Valeria chuckles.
Laurel happened a little later. Illy and I had stayed in London for a few decades, and we grew tired of it.
He's a restless thing, and I was getting bored of cleaning up the bodies he flooded the city with. So I proposed that we travel a little, see the world. It's hard for our kind, but especially so back then. She curls her lip in disgust as if she's remembering a particularly unpleasant memory.
We'd traveled by boat, all cooped up in wooden crates like animals when the sun was out. Though we did have fun come nightfall. Oh, sailors are very tasty, you know. Salty. Plus, it was terribly convenient to get rid of bodies when you're crossing the ocean. Just plop, right into the sea. Bye-bye.
Feel a bit sadistic when I laugh, but somehow she makes even dumping dead bodies sound charming. That's convenient for sure. She narrows her eyes at me and I feel dumb for forgetting the murderous vampire does not like to be interrupted.
We drifted around America for a while. Found ourselves in New Orleans. I hadn't seen a place with so many of our kind since I left Romania. It was wonderful. But then that big brainless meat monster couldn't keep his fangs in his fucking mouth.
She sighs wistfully again, her gentle tone not quite matching her biting words.
We caused chaos. The streets ran red with the blood of our victims. It was pure bliss. And then shit got weird.
Weird like how?
Like Laurel weird. Ailey and I started feeling strange, like something was whispering in our ear and telling us to do and feel illicit things.
More illicit than murdering hundreds of people?
Firstly, thousands of people, fuck you very much.
I wish you would. No judging. She looks to the side as if she's actually thoughtfully contemplating her response. Incredible.
Illicit by your feeble human definition? Yes, I suppose. But I'd been living life of my own volition for long enough that I'd forgotten what it felt like to be controlled.
Controlled? She bites her bottom lip and hums in agreement. Laurel is gifted like I am, but in a very different way. I can manipulate the mind and make you see things that aren't real, but Laurel... I think they meant to put they there. They can manipulate emotions, really worm their way into your brain. They mess around in there until you don't know which way is up. I've never felt anything quite like it. Ilias and I were so overwhelmed with pleasure one night that we fucked right there in the square in front of the humans. In hindsight, we should have charged. It was quite the show. Oh my god. Her laugh is smug and dirty.
Unbeknownst to us, Laurel was watching, and I think he decided that we'd been taught our lesson for messing up their pretty little
Laurel
home.
could use he, they.
No one, mortal or immortal, is immune to me.
I swallow loudly. Can't exactly disagree.
They came out of hiding to introduce themselves, and the rest is history. And here we are, centuries later, living in a 3-bed in Portland with a leaky attic. It's not exactly the life I pictured for us, but it's ours. The world changed in ways we couldn't have anticipated. It's harder for us now, despite humanity being more akin to cattle these days.
Can't disagree with that.
But the point is that they and I fit together beautifully, especially when it comes to Laurel and I terrorizing Illy, the poor thing. They've taught me so much when I thought I knew it all.
She points at me threateningly.
Tell him that, and you're dead, though.
Noted, but that's kind of romantic. A vampire love story for the ages. It's novel-worthy. Her glare is cutting. If you say so. I do! As a writer, nonetheless. She really is bad at hiding her feelings.
So, did that satisfy you? Any more questions about my sordid escapades?
Yes, but we'll do that in the next episode. So, thank you guys so very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey, did you want new music? Well, there's new music out right now. The EP is called Super Shadowsense 3D World. It's got 4 songs on it. We got Spider City, we got Sunshine in a Bag, we got Sawhorse, and we got Thunderstorm Anxiety. Go listen to it now. It's on everything. It's on Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, Deezer. It's also out on Apple Music or iTunes. You can use it in your TikTok videos. Listen to it now. It's at bit.ly/shadow3dworld. Do it now. You can also get it on Bandcamp for free. I don't know what I'm... Listen to it.